live again, and so glad to be live once again, live here in Lafayette, Indiana from McKinney Corp. I am Lee Kraft, aka the Monday Morning Racer, and we're going to continue the fuel-altered talk here on Between the Slicks. The International Hot Rod Association has very quickly become the premier place for fuel-altered drag racing, paying them big bucks and putting them on the big stage and giving them a place to race, along with the big, well-known categories such as Top Fuel, Nitro Funny Car, Top Alcohol Funny Car, and Top Alcohol Dragster Pro Mod, and more in the International Hot Rod Association. They are a part of the the IHRA Outlaw Nitro Series. 2 races in. First one in North Carolina. The second one in the Commonwealth of Virginia. We look now to a move from Alabama to Ohio, and fuel altereds are on the card, as we certainly expected. And it is, with that change, going to be a race that other altereds have signed up and are prepared to go that had intentions to be elsewhere. We're looking forward to what we're going to see there in Ohio in just a couple of weeks. But we're also looking forward to chatting with Paul Miller, who picked up the win in Virginia, had an interesting and breaking North Carolina for the opener in the International Hot Rod Association, but when the season finished last year, just the second race for fuel altereds in the IHRA, he picked up an Ironman. We'll take a look at that in just a moment as we have Paul here on the show in just a few moments. Thank you all for tuning in. Hit the like button, hit the share button. Do you like fuel altereds? Do you like seeing them as a part of the International Hot Rod Association? I'm sure you do. Go into the comment section and let us know that you do enjoy fuel altereds in the IHRA. Let us know where you're watching from and what platform you are on. So, here on Between the Slicks, we're going to take a quick break, a word from McKinney Corp, and then we're going to see the final round from what was Galat Motorsports Park, now Dorana Motorsports Park, and like Dorana 6 or 7. Kind of lost count here. IHRA, thank you for what you're doing, though. Where Paul Miller picks up the win over Pete Dove to close out the year in International Hot Rod Association drag racing. So, word from McKinney, and then a look at the final, and then we'll talk with Paul.
McKinney Motorsports is your #1 source for all your chassis needs. McKinney Motorsports is the leading chassis parts supplier and fabricator in nitro drag racing. From custom tanks and fittings, full chassis builds, body mounts, steering components, fasteners, tabs, clamps, composite parts, and much more. Our household name in the racing world guarantees added performance on the track. Join our list of proven winners that spans over 50 years of racing experience.
Well, we've got Paul with us. He, in fact, is still driving. As you can see,
Yep.
he drives his fuel altered. He's still driving on the road. As he said, it is the office, away from the office. I certainly understand that, Mr. Miller. Well, welcome to the show.
Well, thanks for having me back. And yeah, it's sometimes I spend way too much time in this thing, but it's the necessary evil of the business I'm in. So it's a lot of miles. I think I've had this truck for going on 9 months, and there's 44,000 miles on it already. So it's a lot of time spent in it.
I understand. I certainly know how to put some miles on vehicles myself. Paul, have you got by the Amish buggies? Right before the show, you were like, you're stuck. Have you been able to get past them?
I just passed the last one. Coming home to where we live, we have a pretty substantial Amish population here, and you definitely have to be mindful and share the road. So it's I think I'm in the clear for a little bit here until I get closer to the house. So
All right, good deal. Well, man, look, we are excited to chat with you. I showed the final there because I really want to have a conversation with you from that win off season all the way through North Carolina and to this most recent IHRA fuel altered win in Virginia. A lot for your team has transpired. So that win to close out 2025 in the International Hot Rod Association really was, I imagine, a catalyst to let's get down to work and improve the program and improve the hot rod and make this thing that much more stout. So your off season was not off at all. It was quite busy.
it was, we came home and got right back into it. Russell Oliver and I, we sat down. Russell's my crew chief and partner in the car, and we sat down and kind of decided what direction we wanted to go with this thing. I mean, we have a chassis that is still, a big show funny car chassis, and how in depth and how far we wanted to go with this thing. And we made some decisions that we weren't going to go, as big and radical as some of these other teams, and we were going to kind of run this thing our way and our program that's worked for us. But we knew we needed to step up performance. We were having some issues with spinning and to shake a few things. So one of the first things we went shopping for some new wings. We've pretty much doubled the surface area of our wings. They're still not, top fuel wings or big elements, but for what we were running before, we put some more wing on the car, mounted it very similar. Went to Chris and Tim Barone for a lot of the fabrication work over the off season, and we fuel system, and we never ran a computer on the car before, and so we've stepped up and put a fairly modern computer on it and monitoring fuel flow and EGTs and all the stuff that everybody's been doing for 40 years now, and we're kind of stepping into it. And we knew we need to increase performance, but we also we're mindful of how we're running this thing. We don't want to run over our pocketbook, and we went right into Galat for the first race with some high hopes, and the first time smashing the gas on this thing, it shook so hard. I pedaled it and still went 4.0 something, 194, and it wasn't right. And we came back and adjusted a few things. We were thinking maybe it was a tire. We did go to a different tire this year. That was another fairly large change we made. But went out and hit the gas on it for Q2, and the car shook so bad that I instantly had to get out of it. Didn't know it at the time, but as soon as I got out of the car, I soon realized I had chipped a tooth, and my bell was rung pretty hard. I had an instant headache and was nauseous and just weren't really sure what was going to happen. We came back. The team got after the car and found substantial damage. We found now that we had broke the right front motor mount, which ended up breaking the mid plate. Wing mounts shook loose, fasteners computer box. I mean, we did quite a bit of damage. So we elected to put the car, I mean, we were still in, but we elected to put the car away for the weekend and get home, regroup, took it back to Barone's. They worked tirelessly to put the thing back together, remounting wings, changing things, just going through the whole car, inspecting every weld, any problems, new mid plate in it, and really didn't change a whole lot going down into Virginia, other than we kept the fuel system the same, went out there for Q1 and didn't make it 5 feet and knocked the tires off. So we came back again, made another wholesale change, and have found a little bit of found a race car again. We went 365, and that was good enough for number 2 down there, and that was my fastest time in the altered to date. I think we went 214 miles an hour, and the way we have this car set up, it's a pretty good mile an hour for it.
Well, before we dive into eliminations there at now Durana Motorsports Park, that was Virginia Motorsports Park in Dinwiddie, Virginia, I want to show folks that Q2 pass in North Carolina, because what you described, frankly, looks quite mundane to the people looking at the car, opposed to you sitting in it. So, folks, as he just said, that Q2 shot, he chips a tooth, shakes and rattles the car to pieces, in essence. But this is what it looked like. Yeah, right there, without super slow-mo and being like zoomed in, really cannot tell that it was that violent of a ride. It just goes to show that you all as drag racers, you got to be a tough individual to get out there in these machines and perform.
Yeah, I kind of was trying to be the tough guy and wait, and I finally went over to the ambulance. I think I guess it was the next morning, and they're like, "Yeah, you have a mild concussion." So, even with, after that, one of my first messages was to Mark and Leanne from DSP regarding my head surrounds and safety padding and ported seat, and just to thank them, because without that, it could have been even a lot worse. So it was tell everybody these things, that they will get your attention. They are dangerous. We have all the best of the best safety stuff, and it kind of proves even that sometimes isn't quite enough to keep you out of harm's way.
Going into Virginia, definitely you all want to rebound. You don't go into eliminations in North Carolina. You have the car repaired, and you have the changes that you've made. As you said, hey, we've got a race car back. Let's go through round 1, round 2, semifinals up into the finals, and we got some footage of that. But your round 1 in Virginia at that facility, and had you ever been to that facility with a car and drove on that surface before?
No, first time I ever was there. One thing to back up to share in North Carolina, to add insult to injury, on our way home, our truck that we tow the trailer with blew up, and that resulted in a $4,000 tow bill home to top off a great weekend. So there was just North Carolina was bad, but yeah, getting to Virginia, first time we were ever there. Beautiful facility, and didn't really know what to expect. The only thing, I had talked to Dan Pettinato, fellow racer, and he said the track is glass, and he was not kidding. It was one of the smoothest tracks I've ever been on. So we really wanted to take advantage of it, and like I said, try to get our race car back, and took us to Q2 to put us number 2 in the ladder, and then we go right into round 1, and we had a new competitor against us that I knew he had a race car that's gonna run, and we We had a few little things happen staging. There was nothing against Troy. He'd not been in the car for a little while, came in. We've still been struggling with the burnout. We're trying to figure that out, but he came in and put both bulbs on, and I had to kind of rush. And, we went through our program and, got the first round win. But the car still wasn't right. And, but it, it made it down the track and we got through it, and we're fortunate enough to get on to round 2. And it's definitely, it was a huge weight off my shoulder, leaving North Carolina last year with the trophy, and, makes you think to yourself, can you do this again? Can you win another one of these? When you win one, that's great. But winning that second one is really where I think teams that put all the hard work and dedication in start to really show. So, we had a little bit stronger competitor in round 2 down there that I definitely was not taking lightly. And, that was another kind of thing we, dodged a little bit of a bullet, because we went 365 again, but the car shut off at 400 feet. Something I didn't share in Q2 there, went 365 with a 1. It was only running on 6 cylinders. So we definitely have a hot rod that we know can compete. I don't know if we are going to push it to where, to run a 40 like Ryan can do. But we're looking to be the consistent car in the low 60s, high 50s is kind of our game. We run a small blower still. We run a 671 supercharger, and we don't have a giant fuel pump, but we got a pretty darn good handle on the race car.
It's a good looking hot rod too. I know you all have made updates, and as we're looking at it here from last year, a little bit more wing and changing the combination around, but it is certainly an altered that looks like an altered, and it is a good piece. And we, right now, I think before we take a look at the final, really dive into the final, we've got some great storylines for fuel alters in particular in the International Hot Rod Association. And, as you said, saw some different competitors at Virginia. Already Ohio is shaping up with the change from it being down in Alabama to Ohio to be serving well for the fuel altered class. And talking with Cody earlier this week, it seems like the reception by the International Hot Rod Association, especially the fans, has been very, very warm. I've encountered people who have made the remarks that they have seen fuel alters for the first time at International Hot Rod Association events, and fuel alters have only been to 4 IHRA races in the modern day. That's spectacular.
Oh, it is. I mean, the opportunity is amazing. Getting these different cars, as you say, mine looks different. They're not as cookie cutter. A couple of us have a very similar John Dunn design body that I have, but we have so many differences in this class, and it's such I think one thing that's a big draw to the fans is they can still see the driver. And and we're essentially sitting in harm's way, and it's just, it's not something you get to see anywhere else. So it's been really special to bring these cars and showcase them. Going to Columbus here, we were not planning on running this event. We were going to skip Alabama. We're going to be short on a little bit of crew. We have some personal things going on with graduations and whatnot out there. So I think now that's a little closer to home, it's 2.5 hours for us. We kind of said, how do you not go? And I think as of this afternoon, we have 11 cars planning on going for the 8-car field. So it should be some really good racing, and I encourage any fans to come see these things live. Come, meander around the pits and really come get the experience and see these things up close and personal, because they're definitely unique machines.
Paul, the final round, you've got to go up against Ryan Hill, Taco Man, Hill Family Racing, Mad Maxine, they've been stealing the narrative, and rightfully so, in fuel alters and International Hot Rod Association drag racing. Even though Cody got the win with Ryan's power wheelie into the wall and yet still competing and all of that, it has been the story. It's been the buzz, and it makes yet another final round. And here you are, workman style day, kind of under the radar, and you're looking for that second International Hot Rod Association win. And you know, as you mentioned earlier, that the Hills, well, they're packing, and packing a little bit more than what you might be able to pack. So going into the final, your thoughts on what you needed to do as a driver and what the team could ante up to throw down on the drag strip.
We talked about a team. We talked about spicing it up a little bit, and we decided, we left the tune-up alone. And I said I needed to do my drive job on the tree, and keep Ryan honest over there. And they're great competitors, great friends. I mean, I think we waited another hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes so we could race a final against each other. The IHRA came over and called us, and I said, can we wait? And some folks from the IHRA got involved, and we waited so we could put on a show for the fans and actually run a race. And I feel that's the way we're supposed to do things. And Ryan and his dad and everybody over there and Rick are just great competitors. And and we went out there, and we know we don't have a 340 car, but they know that we're consistent and that we got a quick enough car. And I think it was my day. Ryan went out there and got, watching the video, all sorts of sideways and crooked again, fuel altered style. But we had a little issue our end as well. Went out, I had to do it was Owen, and I think right when I came off the brake thing, and I had the steering wheel cut all the way towards the wall again, and it was just the front end. It was a handful, but darn, it was a lot of fun too.
Yeah, we're looking at it now. You all are about to stage great footage from the International Hot Rod Association. They've got a great team putting on a high TV production level stream that people are able to watch on Speed Sport 1 and 2 and the International Hot Rod Association YouTube channel for free. That is spectacular. Yeah, right there, Ryan is all out of shape, gathers it back up, not striking the wall. He is able to go on and race another day, but yet you had to pedal, and you get back in it and streak to a 383 and a win. And I can tell from the broadcast watching it that the flickering light here, they were all trying to wonder, like, what is that? And it's your dash still flickering and attached to the car. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
And then also, explain the dash for us and keeping it on the car, if that was planned or not. But then the burnout. Everybody's like wondering what is happening on the burnout and the way it sounds.
So the dash is we got it permanently mounted on the car. We don't need to remove it. I'm sure there's gonna be some longevity with it getting shook in that hard, but we leave it on the car, and it's kind of how a Barone design. It works really well in their car, and we transfer that over to mine. And that's when you shut the whole system off and the car's off, the light flashes if you have less than 50 psi of oil pressure. So with the car being off and not running, it's just a safety feature that's in there. So I noticed that from the broadcast as well. I didn't know if it was fire or whatnot, but just a common thing going on with the dash in that computer. Now
so
the
it's
burnout,
your oil light. That's what you're saying.
Yep, it's oil light. Yep. So the burnout, now that's a whole nother story. Right before the final, Mike Kern, phenomenal, just amazing human in racing, crew chief, was down there helping out Haas's that weekend, and he comes over and and was looking at a couple things on how we had this new fuel system set up, and gave us some really good pointers. So we made some changes thinking that was going to help it. And it got it closer, but it didn't. But we came home and we've made some other, we took our entire ignition down to Dave Leahy at Electromotion, going through some things on that, thinking we are having a couple gremlins of why we had some cylinders out. So still running 365 on less than 8 cylinders. We're really hoping that this car's got a lot more in it. So we're pretty positive we got it figured out what's going on in the burnout and can go down to Columbus here and put down. So it's a couple little things. These things are always a work in progress, and we're trying. It's also in the back of my mind, if this thing does run on 8 cylinders, what's it going to need? What's it going to take in a clutch and whatnot? So still got some figuring to do, and we're gonna try to aim to put our first 50 on the board next event out.
All right, looking for a 50 there at the facility formerly known as National Trail Raceway east of Columbus, Ohio. All right, Paul, you are no stranger to being an instrumental part in Fuel Altered being in the International Hot Rod Association. There's other people involved for sure, but you've been a big part of it. And there was a time where it's like, was it even going to happen? And it certainly has happened, and there is demand for it. So from the conceptual stage to it is firmly materialized and become a reality and is successful, how rewarding and how much work has gone in to get Fuel Altereds on this stage. They have not had this stage in decades, multiple decades. And certainly there have been great places such as Nitro Chaos and what Chris Graves is doing with, Fuel Altered Chaos at Tucson Dragway and the Heritage Series as well, and especially what they do at Famoso Drag Strip. But nonetheless, this stage, the type of stage it is, Fuel Altered has not had this in a very long time.
No, I know that they had a little bit of a resurgence there with the IHRA when they had the Nostalgia Funny Cars running. I know some local cars from near me, Bob and Kathy Flock, ran their car with the group, and Ron and Brian Hope ran, and it was so they had a stage, but not to this level. The purse wasn't up, the Racing for a Championship wasn't up, and the TV coverage and just kind of the all out running these Fuel Altereds a little more, to follow the IHRA's thing, the outlaw. We have very few rules, and it's to answer your other question though, it's been a lot of work to get it to this point. We were actually, Cole and I, my son, we were out at the March meet when the big announcement came out, when we were out there with you. You were out there doing your thing, and I just kind of put my business hat on and started shooting emails off as soon as I got some IHRA emails of who we could reach out to in regards to getting these cars in front of the fans. And we had a lot of conversations back and forth. Darcy Gribben's been a phenomenal resource within the IHRA to help get us here. And without him, it had been a lot harder uphill battle to do. So I thank him so much. But got after it, and I had just previously before that met Pete Dove, and Pete has been a phenomenal partner in helping to put this all together. And it hasn't been just the two of us. A lot of these teams and folks have supported us and worked really hard, but it's we've got a lot of hours logged and a lot of ups and downs to get to this point. But when we finally got the opportunity last year at 42 West Salem, Ohio, it was a very special moment for me to see all the hard work come to fruition. And from my friends and families that all supported me in this and let me take the time to, even my guys in my business. I mean, I know there are some things that were sacrificed in my company that probably could have been looked after a little better with trying to get this going and get it done. And yeah, now it's just we're trying to help grow the class with the IHRA. We are actively looking for a group sponsor. Um, we've got some couple things we're going to start putting out marketing wise in the week to come with all the teams that are coming. We're going to try to offer some stuff up for the fans from the Fuel Altered group. I'll say it on here that, first 25 fans that come over to me with a paid admission, they can have a free t-shirt from Oliver and Miller. We want to help support the IHRA the way they've supported us.
I like that. Very cool move. And we'll continue to get that word out that those first 25 fans, and they can show that they paid to get in and not just jump the fence, which I have seen people do, that they can get a free t-shirt over there at your pit. And that is certainly a cool move. And look, thank you for the hard work. Fuel Altereds, I think, in the diversity, the grand diversity that we have in drag racing right now, hits so many points, checks so many boxes. As you said earlier, you can still see the driver. They all look different. They have different combinations, and you're still burning nitro. It's got a little bit of funny car, a little bit of top fuel, and yet still a little bit of hot rod even to it, the way it is all brought together in Fuel Alterdom. It is just a cool machine, and it has finally got a platform.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of this, I kind of jokingly tell the group, I mean, we're kind of we're the circus sideshow. I mean, we're a little bit all meshed up into one. And it's and you're going to see some cars that haven't been out yet down in Columbus. They haven't ran with the group. They've ran with Chaos and other stuff. I mean, I'm super excited. Umlauf's coming, and we have Barones are coming back out for this one for the first time this year with a new look on their car and a change combination. So I mean, it's going to be something to see. So I just I know it's a phenomenal TV broadcast, but if you can get down there and come see it in person and see the personalities of these cars and meet the drivers, it's definitely something that is oops, sorry, a bee just landed on me. Something that is a sight to behold.
I agree. At this point right now, I think Fuel Altereds can certainly take the title of providing the most excitement in the International Hot Rod Association, whether it is Chuck's epic oil splash and wall tag, or Ryan Hill power wheeling into the wall. And then I do like what Tommy said on the broadcast concerning Chuck Lofton, that the Artemis 2 crew probably saw his injector hat on the moon as they went by. I've never seen an aluminum injector hat, go sky high quite like that. That was quite impressive by Chuck. I know Chuck doesn't want to be Chuck highlight real Lofton, but he certainly is earning his namesake at this point. So the Fuel Altereds are certainly putting on a spectacular show. I want to bring up a photo. It's you being interviewed at the end of the race, and there is a lot going on here emotionally. You've got your son with you. You've just won, and you've got a Taco Bell taco in your hand. So describe the top end, interviewing, winning, and the emotions there at Virginia.
But in this one, if people don't know my son, he's an amazing kid. He's 16 years old. He's doing our clutch with very little supervision, diving, doing bottom end, changing pistons, and he's just living and breathing this stuff. And right before that, the Hill family came over and gave us their celebratory taco for winning. That was theirs that they were going to enjoy, or one of theirs they were going to enjoy when they won. But they were kind enough to pass it on, and we took great pride in it. And that just goes to show like the reason why we waited to race them, and we couldn't ask for better competitors to race. But it's got a lot going on at home and stuff right now, and it's man, to do this with my son, it makes it's all worth it. So
Such
I don't
a
know.
good
He's in the house here somewhere. So I don't know what he's doing. Hopefully cleaning in his room. He did mow the grass today, so I'm thankful for that. So because we got a whole bunch of it to keep after up here. But no, and then something that we've done after both times we've won. The first time wasn't the smartest because we did hurt some stuff, but we didn't hurt anything. We went back and started the car up again. There he is. Hey, Cole. But no, we went back and put the car back up, pulled the plugs out, cleaned it out, and we fired it up again. And it's a little bit of a proven a point thing that, we can run these cars and consistent and stuff, but you don't have to run over your crank. And, these things can keep living, and you can race these cars on somewhat of a budget because we sure have to. We work hard. We got a successful business, but these cars will eat your wallet faster than anything I've ever seen in my life.
Right. Cubic dollars fueled by nitromethane. It gets expensive very quickly.
As to quote my buddy Michael Anderson from Nostalgia Top Fuel Guys, it's turning money into noise. And that's the truth.
Yes, nitro cars certainly are great converters of that system from money to noise and putting on a spectacular show. I have to ask, what kind of taco was it?
I didn't even get to eat it, so I don't know. It got set on the truck. I didn't. I got to admit it. I didn't get to eat it. I think one of my nephews or cousins' kids that were there ended up eating it, but I think it might have been. I think I saw some sour cream and some cheese fall out of it. So, knowing the Hills, I don't think they skimped. It was pie supreme. They. I think they went all out.
Look, we got to find for Ryan and now the whole class. I mean, we need Taco Bell, Taco Casa, Del Taco, or Taco John, or there's plenty of taco places out there. Somebody's got to partner up.
Well, I'm thinking I'm going to bring Ryan, a fry pie from here in Amish County. We got some Amish cooking here that maybe I'll bring Ryan something down there. We meet in the final again. If he happens to win this time, I'll share with him some delicacies here from Northeast Ohio.
I like the sharing food. To the victor goes the spoils theme. I like that. We need to continue that. There we go. I mean, the Indy 500's got milk. Well, let's have regional snacks and fuel alter drag racing in the IHRA. I like it.
There you go. There we go. I think we need to continue this. And
Cole says it was a beef supreme taco. He ate it.
He ate it. Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. So that's where it went. It's speaking of the motor, Top Fuel car, and the entire engine program out of it, our NHRA spec 2 complete motor type deal. We had that's going to a local Nostalgia Top Fuel team that's building a new car, so we'll get to see that debuted possibly at the Chaos race at Norwalk. They got some work to do ahead of them, but we are going to be I was out in Brownsburg picking up some stuff this past weekend, and Bob Peck, longtime fuel racer and a DSR there, and he's Chris King's crew chief, sent me home with some goodies so we can start putting together a blown alcohol motor for Cole for the dragster. So that's going to be in our spare time when we're resting, as Russell likes to say. we're gonna find some time to get this alcohol combination put together so he can start licensing this year in a car.
That is spectacular. Looking forward to it. I know you all have had plans for a while now, and those plans getting closer to being reality. That's good news for him, good news for the sport. The more younger people that we can get out there involved in driving, it certainly helps out. And it is tremendous that he already knows what he does and is capable of doing what he can with your hot rod and beyond. You said in the interview that he can wrench on it all with that program and do it as well as someone that's been out there for a long time wrenching.
Yeah, I mean, he has. He's been diving into it since he was a little guy. We got pictures when my dad was still racing. I mean, he was real little. I mean, I think he was. Oh gosh, we took him to his first. When we were out to Vegas for the top race. He was. I don't know if he was even walking yet. So he's been around this stuff since he was born, and he's eating it up. His grades are good enough, and his attitude's good enough. So we're going to give him the opportunity to keep growing with it, and hopefully one day here he'll be able to take my seat.
I like that. Yeah, a fuel altered appearance for him needs to be sooner than later. I like that idea.
Yeah,
so
it's on the radar. We want to get him some laps and something and get him comfortable. And it took me a long time to get comfortable in one of these cars. I'm still not fully comfortable. I can feel when shake's coming on better now and going into spin and doing different things, but they are a constantly evolving animal that as soon as you get comfortable, though, it's gonna come and whack you, and you're gonna have to start all over again.
Paul, I believe I know the answer to this question, but I want to pose it to you and hear your answer with your involvement with Fuel Altereds, with you as a winning Fuel Altered racer and fielding a team and everything that you have involved and invested in your program, and in particular now in the International Hot Rod Association. Is thus far the IHRA revival experiment working?
Oh, I would definitely say yes. We had some conversations down in Virginia. I think one of the biggest things is we got to get some more fans to the tracks. I mean, it is second to none. Anyone who hasn't raced with them yet, I mean, I've never been treated better anywhere racing, and it's working. There's always going to be room for growth in any. I mean, they're an old name with a new a new company behind them, and there's going to be some growing pains and some hurdles. And I know everybody likes to have their chatter about, different staff changes and this and that. And I'll tell people, a lot of people know this about me. I came from corporate America. I was a suit and tie guy for 17 years of my career. And it's ever evolving in the corporate world, and you can't lay back for a minute. So when some of these changes happen, they have to happen. And I think it's going to be better for the long-term growth and goals of the IHRA. As I mentioned, we've talked about, how do we get more fans there? I know it's really easy to watch this at home on your phone. Daryl's provided multiple platforms to watch this for free, and getting folks out there to experience this is our goal as a group for the Fuel Altereds. That's why, trying to offer up some incentives to get folks out there is the least we can do for the opportunity the IHRA is providing us.
It really does seem to be the last missing element. That's not to say that the IHRA has not had good crowds. I've seen Galot.
No, exactly.
I've seen Galot have good crowds in the past with the PDRA, and they've also had good crowds there at now Dorana Motorsports Park, Dunn, Benson, North Carolina. And I think when you look at Galot, I've never seen it sold out the many times I've been there. So to me, that is not necessarily a PDRA thing. It's not necessarily an IHRA thing. it becomes a regional marketing strategy that needs to be implemented differently for that particular facility. And beyond getting people to the track, I think people have just got to see that this brand is real. And over time, I think you're going to have more people show up. It's going to be interesting, honestly, to see what will take place in Ohio, because that is the region that had got to taste the International Hot Rod Association Revive first. So coming around year 2, going to be very interesting in Ohio.
Yeah, this next race, a little bit short notice for some of the stuff, and and then we don't. I mean, it's a matter of a month and a half or so. I think we're back there again for the second Triple Crown race. So it's I mean, I really hope that I know the IHRA is pushing it locally. I've personally reached out to friends and businesses down in the Columbus market. I mean, it's 2.5 hours for us. We do some business down there, so I've reached out to some different folks. We're working on a multi-race sponsorship deal right now with a Ohio-based company that hopefully comes to fruition, and we can launch it at this first race in Columbus and get some notoriety out there for these Ohio-based businesses. And it's that track. When there was an NHRA national event there, it used to be insane. I mean, it was packed. And, then when it moved to Norwalk, I think you've seen a lot of that crowd come with it. And I think where this is falling, I've been looking at the calendar with other stuff that's going on around the area for this first race. There's not a whole lot of competition. So I'm really hoping we get some fans that maybe we're not used to seeing out here. It's if anybody hasn't been down there, I mean, there's the races, and once the races are done, there's a beautiful place called Buckeye Lake that's got bars and restaurants and all sorts of fun stuff to do with your family. So it's not just like some of these drag strips are in a little bit of middle of nowhere. I mean, this is out in the country a little bit, but there's a lot of stuff to do, and it's not far from a lot of other activities.
The IHRA is certainly putting on a good show. I know that I have encountered fans that have experienced for the first time, because of what the IHRA is doing and where they're going, that they have seen Nitro for the first time. It's hard to imagine that you encounter a drag racing fan that has not seen Nitro, and they've been a drag racing fan for a while, but they are out there. Their track might be a track that it's local Quick 8 and Pro Mod or no prep, and that's just what they see and they experience. And it is good to see the IHRA taking nitromethane drag racing and the rest of the show as well to markets such as Dunn, Benson, North Carolina, and then markets that had not had it in a while, such as there in Hebron, Ohio, at what was National Trail Raceway. Yeah. And we are glad that Fuel Altereds are a part of it, Paul. Man, look, congratulations on your win. I thank you for your time here on the show.
Thank you.
Cannot wait to see you at the next event. No,
it's going to be great. And, there's hopefully some other good, news coming out with the Fuel Altered stuff. It's a little more than rumor right now, and I won't name names, but there's a pretty well-known Pro Mod driver that is most likely going to license in our car this year. So that'll be fun to see happen, and a little bit of cross-pollination between those two crazy classes.
Like the craziest, I think the Pro Mod driver and the Fuel Altered driver, they are almost sitting down at the same therapy session just about. So it's going to work out good.
Yeah, I think we've had some long conversations about it, and I have no interest in driving a Pro Mod. But then they're like, you'll get in a Fuel Altered? I said, all day long. That's fine. I no interest in driving a Pro Mod. But we're going to keep working on this, and hopefully we can make it come to fruition with schedules line up. And I think it'll just be great for the sport, great for the IHRA to showcase how these drivers can do multiple classes and be successful at it.
Paul, thank you. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and we look forward to seeing you at the next International Hot Rod Association Outlaw Nitro Series event.
Thank you.
See you, man.
See ya.
Folks, Paul Miller, your winner at the most recent International Hot Rod Association event in Fuel Altered. What a beautiful thing that is to say. Fuel Altered on such as a stage as the International Hot Rod Association. We're going to take a quick break, this word from Dove Fuels, and then we will close out this installment of Between the Slicks.
The blue drum is nitromethane. The black drum is methanol. And out here at even the famed March meet, Dove Fuels is supplying nitromethane and now methanol. Pete Dove is no stranger to fuel altereds. You burn a lot of nitro yourself, but you also service fellow nitro racers. What are the hallmarks of Dove Fuels, Pete?
Well, the hallmarks are is we can take care of a complete series, single drum, shipping anywhere in the United States, all the way to California, actually. So we also attend all the chaos races, nitro chaos races, extreme top fuel, and several other series.
So Pete Dove and Dove Fuels for nitromethane and also now methanol. Contact him if you want to fly right in your motorsports endeavors.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to conclude the show here. Great time with Paul Miller. Thank you for your time, Mr. Miller, here on Between the Slicks. Very thankful to McKinney Corp, Pete Dove with Dove Fuels. Remember that if you want to protect your modern muscle ride, especially if it is a product that is one of the Dodge and Chrysler products and everything that they are now and that has split off and you've got to look at Destroyer 1320. Check out destroyer1320.com. A lot of great products, simple products, but effective products to protect your ride. We're very thankful to have the partners that we've got here on the Monday Morning Racer platform and with Between the Slicks. What a good time we are in drag racing. What a good time it is for fuel altereds in the International Hot Rod Association in Nitro Chaos. Also fuel altered chaos happening there in Tucson Dragway and beyond, even into the Heritage Series. But what a platform they've got with the International Hot Rod Association. Folks, turn out to the next IHRA event. The IHRA is really providing racing and that other outlet that people have been clamoring for a long time. And here it is. It's time to shut up and support. It is time to get out of the house and go to the track. If you haven't been yet, and this is something that you were wanting, well, now you've got it. All you have to do is go. Support there in person. I can tell you that the drivers and teams, they like participating in front of stands that are full. And we also need to support what we've been searching for and what we've been desiring, and now we've got it. Go support it. I understand. Maybe you don't prefer 8th mile drag racing. That's fine. Go support, though, what is taking place. And I suspect that if you will go, you will enjoy it more than you thought you would. By the way, when we get to Maple Grove, things change. You do got some 8th mile classes, but the classes such as Nitro Funny Car and Top Fuel, they are racing to the 1,000 foot mark. Top Alcohol Funny Car, Top Alcohol Dragster, they actually are going to the quarter mile. And a whole lot of money is on the line just as event winner for several categories. Top Fuel, Nitro Funny Car, $150,000 on the line. And then to those who win, they have an opportunity in several categories, not just the fuel categories, in the Triple Crown events, if they win them all, to earn a $1 million bonus paycheck. Drag racing, frankly, has not had a boost like this, I really think, since the Winston days. We need to support it. Glad that Fuel Ultras are a part of it, and glad that we have got it, and I hope we've got it for a long time to come. A lot of drag racing is taking place this very weekend. The NHRA, they are at ZMAX Dragway. The 4-wide event will be taking place. Some of those IHRA rejects will actually be there in competition, such as Jasmine Salinas. Talked to her earlier in the week, along with my co-host, Dujane Bland, host of the Not Bland Show, on the Competition Plus Power Hour. Had a great conversation with her. You all check that out on the Competition Plus YouTube channel, which is Competition Plus TV. Just search that out on YouTube. You will find it. Tune into that conversation. It was a good one with the very talented Jasmine Salinas. And I also want to give a shout out to Brainerd Motorsports Park. That is right below Chattanooga, Tennessee. Still in Georgia, Ringo, Georgia. They have got a nostalgia drag racing event this weekend. Swing by their Facebook page. That's not Brainerd International Raceway. That's the one in Minnesota, but rather Brainerd Motorsports Park. That's the one in northern Georgia. Check them out for drag racing action this week. And certainly it is taking place in many other places as well. If you cannot get out to ZMAX Dragway, go to your local event. Go to your local track. Support those places. We, as fans, and also media, we got to start putting our money where our mouth is. We got to start helping out in certain ways. It cannot just always be a give, give, give. Thank you for your time. Would you give a like and a share? I'd appreciate it if you would. Folks, thank you for tuning in this installment of Between the Slicks. I'm Lee Kraft, a.k.a. the Monday Morning Racer. Until next time, God bless, and keep the pedal to the metal.
If you own a beautiful modern muscle car like this 1320 Challenger, I'm sure you don't want it stolen. Because the Challenger and many other modern vehicles have an easily accessible neutral release strap. That was your coin holder in your central console, and beneath that there's this red cord that someone can pop, put it into neutral, and potentially easily steal your car. But at Destroyer1320.com, they have the TDS, Theft Deterrent System, which is a cover over that strap using factory mounting points so that you don't get popped by a thief. So make sure to go to Destroyer1320.com using promo code MMR for 15% off and get your Theft Deterrent System TDS and steal the thief's hope. We want to thank Certified Services of Florida with partnering with Monday Morning Racer for the Nitro Funny Car coverage here from the Good Vibrations Motorsports 68th March meet. Certified Services of Florida, well, they service the state of Florida and beyond in the Southeast with everything related to your facility. From paint striping to cleaning to setting up and repair. If you need your facility handled and done so properly, you need the works of Certified Services. Even the big names such as Amazon entrusts Certified Services to maintain their facilities there in Florida and beyond.